Okay, here we got our 2002 Honda Rancher 350, and we're going to end up tackling the seat cover. It's all tore up. It's been retaped. Typically what I do is I've done a few. I never take the old staples out. I think it's just a waste of time. Usually the new cover covers them up anyway. So, and it takes a lot of time to get the staples off manually. So I just use a knife, utility knife. The pan seems to be in good shape. The hook's on. The latch. It's not cracked at all, so it's worth recovering. It looks like it was repaired once before. Sometimes if there's some imperfections or something like this in the seat, the cover does take some of that up, and also the cover isn't exact. The seat don't always have to be just absolutely perfect. I mean, if you got a seat that's, you know, boogered up or whatever, like this one kind of is, when it's together, it's not gonna be very noticeable at all with the cover on. Anyway, got the new seat cover. We got it ordered here. I got it ordered and got it in. And ideally, you want to get it out in the sun so it's more warm and pliable. We didn't have that option here because it's kind of cool here today. So, but this seat shouldn't be very difficult to do because it's not many contours in it. So when you put the seat on, yeah, I don't like. You can actually feel the imperfections through the cover. I've actually never seen somebody use this. It's like great stuff for that expanding foam. And actually, I'm going to get that out of there, and I'll show you how we can fix this better. So we're going to get this out of there. Even when the cover's on, you can feel it through the cover, because this stuff through the cover, it's a lot harder than the actual foam is. So looks like at one time a mouse had probably gotten in here, you know, and after the cover was previously torn, or maybe during this tear, who knows. And because it's pretty deep, it looks like scratch or claw marks or teeth marks in there. All right, so I'll be right back. Some foam to place in there. So what you do is you get foam from an old seat. I got foam from old seats, all different pieces or whatever. So I'm just kind of figuring out a piece to put in there. And you can put in a couple pieces to build it up. That's fine too. That might work pretty good. Yeah, I think that'll do. We didn't want to use that expanding foam because it was rigid and hard. You could feel it through the cover. And there'll be a couple low spots here. That's really usually not big of a deal. But I'll get some tape here. I just want to keep it away from the cameras. When you tape it, you want to tape it down tight. Alright, so we'll let that dry overnight, and we'll be back tomorrow and see how it looks. Might have to do some trimming, we'll see. Alright.
The next day.
So you see I used just a meat carving knife to trim the foam evenly, then just use normal just a grinder just to smooth it out a little bit. I know a lot of times they don't look the prettiest under the cover, but actually this, when the cover's on, it'll be in good shape. We got a staple gun, air stapler I use. For most seats I use either 5/16 or 1/4 inch staples. I use 5/16. I try to use 5/16 for everything. They're a little longer than the 1/4. The 1/4 inch I only use maybe in the front if there's not much foam at all to prevent the staple from coming through. This seat, all the way around, I'm going to use 5/16. The staple would never come through on this one. So them are the sizes I use. So I got my 5/16 in. When you do a seat, ideally you want to have this out in the sun, get it warmed up. I didn't on this one, but that's okay. This is not, it shouldn't be one of the more difficult ones to do. Okay, you always start out in the front. Always start in the front. Put a couple staples in. Always put 2 in, I do, and then you do a couple in the back. You want to pull it tight enough so there's tension on here. See, this is the contour of the seat down here. We want to have it so there's pulling tension on it, so there's some tension on there. And then center it. Alright, so we got a couple in the back, a couple in the front. And then usually what you do is you want to do one to the side. So usually on a seat I look for not a smooth surface like this, but where it comes to a contour. So, because we got to get it around this. So I'm not concerned about, you wouldn't want to go here and then not get it around here. Getting around here will tighten this up, and it should make it flow with the contour of the seat. So I'm going to go right to this corner. And you want to pull it straight down and tight. Try to get it to wrap around as tight as you can. Pull it. There. Put a couple in. Always be aware, I guess, where your fingers are. And same now with the other side. Right to here we're going to go. So you want to pull it tight. And this is why if you get it in the sun, you can actually, it's more pliable and it actually can get it tighter. Wrap it around. Okay, so you got them 2 on. We could go back to here now, or we could make sure that this gets taken care of. I think I'm going to make sure this gets taken care of. So now we're good here, a little loose here, and of course here. So we're going to get this looseness out and this out by pulling this out. See, it takes care of all that. Same with this side. We want to get a little more out of here, and we're going to get this out. Pull it tight. Wrap it around. Alright. So we can come back to this later. So we look what we got here. We want to get this out of this here. It's all good through here. So basically, usually when you get to this point, you want to go back and down, but everything's pretty tight here. This is one of the easier, it should have been one of the more easier seats, and it seems to be so far. So we want to get this out of here. So you're going to really want to pull tight straight down this way. I'll go right to this corner. And the same to this side. get this out of here. And sometimes you get a more difficult seat, you can just kind of work it like this. Working all the slack over to where you're going with it, where you're pulling it out. There. Alright. All stretched into place. So, you know, you're a little loose up here. We're going to take care of that because we never put any here yet. Here, you know, here a little loose. But all in all, before I go any further, I just make sure I like, you know, the position I'm in, or the position the seat's in. You know, the seam down here has got to get pulled down. We know that because we want to put two down here. So all in all, I'm happy. This seat's going to turn out good. The only way you know it's their imperfection here is if you can feel just a little bit. You can't see it. When you sit on it, you won't feel it. So this is going to turn out being a good seat cover. Good seat. All right, so when we go underneath, usually what I do is my last one was, you know, I got a section here and a section here, none here. So I usually split the difference and continue doing the same thing. You pull it tight and you wrap it around. Alright, so anyway, go to the other side. So what you want to do is you want to alternate side to side. So you don't want to do this whole side and then come back and do this whole side. So again, you got a rib section here, split the difference. The only way you wouldn't split the difference is there's another contour in here. You'd want to go over that. So we pull it tight, wrap it around, put a couple in. Up here you can see we're not wrapped around decent, you know, so I would probably tend to try to get this next. Really trying to pull it around. And alternate to the other side here. Here's a wider gap here, split the difference. Pull it around. Alternate to the other side. Here, split the difference. See, it's always trying to get more slack pulled up to keep the cover taut. See, here we're pulling through the other side too, so rivets here, split the difference. See, pulling on that cover, you can see it's stretching, wrap it around. Alternate to the other side. So you can see the seams coming down. Rivet, split the difference. Sometimes you got to get a latch off. Usually I don't if I can help it. So you can see it stretching. Wrap it around. So that's, you know, I know the seams coming here. We'll come back to this here too, and you'll see at the end we'll pull all this through. But I'm just getting the major ones. Here's a section here. So pull it around, and like I said, when you get a more difficult seat, if you can't pull it, you just keep working. Work the cover like this for every time, and work all the material up as you grab. And pull it tight and wrap it around. Alternate to the other side. Alright, so you seem to be in pretty good shape. I think I'll pull up here a little bit. It looks like a piece of cardboard I got it on. It's kind of dirty. That was the whole point of having it out. Alternate to the other side. Some of these can be kind of tough to get a grip on. Alright, so see we got it pretty much all the way around. So now we're going to finish up putting the staples in all the way around. And this is how I do it. I guess here's another gap here we can work on. Pulling this up and around. Alright, now here's what I do. I know I should alternate the other side, but we got most of it. We got it all on for the most part. So I use the stapler to kind of push on the material to just make sure we're tight. Staple, make sure it's tight. Staple. So even as I do my stapling, I let this gouge in, the stapler gouge in, and push the material tight. See, it actually grabs it and actually does pull it. And we just do this all the way around. Ran out of staples. Always disconnect the air before you put staples in. And this seat I'm using all 5/16 staples. I have all different size staples, but for most seats I use 5/16. Only use 1/4 inch when there's not much foam to prevent it from poking through, usually on the lips on the front. Or I use longer staples too for certain situations, but here I can get this up a little more, I think. There's a pretty bigger gap. We'll try to get this wrapped around. Probably get this wrapped up a little bit better. Probably right here. Just making your way all the way around. Finishing it up. Then if you get a spot where a staple didn't go in all the way, I see a previous staple did not. Just take it out of there. Alright, so here's what it looks like underneath. And like I said, most of the time the seat cover covers all of the old seat. See, we didn't take these staples out. And it doesn't matter if you see it anyway. But anyway, looks good underneath. Cardboard's a little dirty, but that's what the cover looks like. Got the machine right here.
Thank you so much for watching. I make videos like this often. If this helped you out or you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button below and consider subscribing. Please also consider donating using the link in the description below, which helps keep this channel going. Hope to see you in the next video.